Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. It was 5:32 a.m. in Tegucigalpa, the kind of morning when the heat hadn't yet declared war on your bones. I sat on the edge of my bunk, lacing up my boots like muscle memory was the only thing keeping me from crumbling. The last mission had gone sideways, ambush outside the barrio, but I made it out. The mailbag hit the floor with a loud thud. I looked up, nodded to Private Rios, who shuffled through the envelopes like a dealer at a poker table. Master Sergeant Fletcher, he said, pulling out a stiff white envelope and raising an eyebrow. This one's got a lipstick stain. Fancy. The guys chuckled. I didn't. I knew that handwriting, the slant of it, like she was always in a rush to get away from me. Dolly. I took the envelope in my hands, already feeling the world tilt before I even opened it. The paper was thick, expensive. My name typed coldly on the front like I was a stranger. I tore it open with a grunt. Divorce papers. No explanation, no letter, no I'm sorry, but just a legal dagger. Filed. Final. Clean. Dolly's signature danced at the bottom like a cruel flourish. Everything okay, Sarge? Rios asked. I stood up slowly, folding the papers with deliberate calm. Never better, I said, my voice betraying me with a tremor. By noon, I had confirmation from the bank. She cleared the joint account, all of it. $23,000, drained like a lifeline snipped. I sat at my desk, knuckles white against the wood. I didn't even get the courtesy of a phone call. She moved her boyfriend into the house I built with my own hands. The same house I spent 3 years paying off while deployed in Honduras. The betrayal was surgical. Fletcher, Captain Dean entered, clipboard in hand. You're on rotation for supply escort tonight. Route Delta 6. I nodded numbly. Roger that, sir. The mission ran late. Fog rolled in like smoke from the mountains. The convoy rattled along a pothole-riddled road outside El Porvenir. My head throbbed, heart racing with rage, and my thoughts swirled around Dolly's cold betrayal. I wasn't there. I mean, my body was. But my mind was in pieces. That's probably why I missed the glint. The explosion hit us like thunder. The blast flipped our lead Humvee, throwing us sideways. I don't remember hitting the ground, just the screaming, mine own. I woke up in a military hospital 3 days later, stitched up, groggy, disoriented, a fractured femur, torn rotator cuff, 2 surgeries scheduled, a medical evacuation home approved. But none of that pain matched what I felt every time I closed my eyes and saw her signature on those papers. The nurse came in with a soft smile and a clipboard. You've been lucky, Sergeant. You'll recover. I didn't feel lucky. I felt abandoned. Still, as she left, I asked her one thing. Can I get internet access? She looked confused. Sure, but do you need something urgent? Yeah, I said, jaw clenched. I need to check my mortgage. Because I had a terrible, clawing feeling in my gut that Dolly's betrayal had only just begun. I landed in Virginia under a gray, unsmiling sky. A government-issued van wheeled me out of the base hospital and into a rehab facility nestled between strip malls and chain restaurants, the kind of place that smelled like Lysol and leftover grief. My right arm was in a sling, my left leg stiff with metal pins. The nurse smiled too much. Everyone said, welcome back, but no one looked me in the eye. I wasn't back. I was just another broken soldier in a folding bed. The first night home, I powered up my old laptop. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, hesitant, like the truth might punch through the screen. I typed in my bank login. 0 balance. Savings? Gone. Retirement fund. Transferred out. Mortgage portal. I clicked through. Outstanding balance, $295,000. That could be right. We'd refinanced just last year on my VA benefit. I remembered the paperwork, the meeting, my signature. But the new refinance form was there, filed just weeks ago, signed by me. Only, I'd never touched a pen in Honduras. I sat back, breath shallow. She forged my name. I called the mortgage company the next morning. A clipped voice answered on the other end. Sir, we verified identity through digital signature and matching documents. Send them to me, I snapped. When the email landed, I stared at it for 5 full minutes. My name, my signature, slanted slightly right, off, too neat, too Dolly. That afternoon, I limped into a lawyer's office, clutching the thumb drive like a lifeline. "Mr. Fletcher?" the receptionist asked, glancing at my sling. "Yeah, I need to speak to someone about fraud." That younger man in a gray suit, Logan Pierce, military law specialist, took me into a quiet room. "I think my ex-wife forged my signature," I told him, pulling up the documents. He scrolled silently, then looked at me. "You didn't sign these?" "No, and I think she's been draining my accounts too." He leaned forward, lowering his voice. "You mentioned your ex. Is there someone else involved?" "Some guy. Lives with her now. Drives my truck." Logan tapped the screen. "This refinance?" She transferred cash to a private account right after it cleared. "You're not just looking at identity theft, Sergeant. If what you're saying holds, this could fall under federal jurisdiction." I nodded, jaw tight. "Good. I want this buried so deep she hears the echoes." As I left his office, cane tapping like a metronome of resolve, I realized something chilling. Dolly hadn't just forgotten me. She'd erased me. But I was back now, and I wasn't staying silent. 2 weeks after my first meeting with Logan, I sat across from him in a downtown cafe, sliding over a thin manila envelope. "These are the transfer records from the joint account," I said quietly. "Every penny she moved after I deployed." Logan flipped through them, eyes narrowing. "She opened a second account under your name?" "Yeah, different bank, digital only. She rerouted my military pay for 5 months." "And the boyfriend?" I pulled out my phone, showing him a grainy photo. "Name's Carl Redmond, dishonorable discharge from the Navy, multiple aliases." Logan frowned. "And now living in your house. With my dog," I muttered bitterly. We met later that day with Special Agent Morales from the FBI. She was all sharp lines and sharper eyes. I liked her immediately. "This isn't just a divorce mess," she said after reviewing the files. "You've uncovered the tip of a fraud ring. We've been tracking similar cases, military spouses using power of attorney to drain and flip assets while service members are overseas." My stomach turned. "So Dolly and Carl, they're part of something bigger," she confirmed. "And now, Sergeant Fletcher, we want you to help us take it down." I leaned back, heartbeat steady. "Tell me what you need." Morales smiled faintly. "Everything you've got, and a little more." I nodded. Beneath the surface of betrayal, something darker was waiting to be dragged into the light, and I was ready to do it. 2 weeks after handing everything to the FBI, I stood in my old garage again, wired, quite literally. The feds had planted tiny mix under the cabinet shelves and a pin-sized camera behind the thermostat. My role lured Dolly and Carl into a recorded confession. Dolly thought I was coming to settle things amicably. Her voice on the phone had that fake sweetness I once mistook for warmth. "Let's not fight, Fletch. Let's just talk." When they arrived, Carl swaggered in like he owned the place. He didn't even glance at me, just plopped onto the couch and kicked his boots up. "You emptied my account, sold my tools, forged my signature," I said calmly, looking her dead in the eye. "That refinance wasn't legal." "Oh, stop being dramatic," Dolly said, flipping her bleached hair. "You weren't even here. You think they check signatures that closely?" Carl laughed. "You'd be surprised how easy it is to move money when you know the right names to drop." The words echoed, caught by the microphone. I kept my face blank, though my blood boiled. "You know," I said carefully, "you really should have covered your tracks better." Carl stood. "What the hell does that mean?" A knock interrupted us. Morales entered, badge raised. "It means the trap is shut, Mr. Redmond." Dolly's face drained of color. She turned to me. "You set us up." "No," I said coldly. "You did that yourselves." 3 months later, the courtroom was silent except for the judge's voice reading the verdict. "Dolly Whitman and Carl Redmond, you are hereby sentenced to 12 years in federal prison for conspiracy to commit fraud, identity theft, and financial exploitation of military families." Outside, my attorney, Ms. Danner, handed me the final set of documents. "The house is back in your name. The funds are frozen pending restitution." You'll get most of it back. I nodded. Thank you. She paused. You could have burned them in court, Fletcher. You didn't. I looked up at the sky, unusually blue for a November afternoon. Fire doesn't fix everything. Sometimes it just clears space for something better. Later that night, I stood alone in the empty house. The photos were gone, the shadows too. In the corner of the garage, I found my old deployment bag, unopened since Tegucigalpa. I knelt, unzipped it, and pulled out a folded letter I'd never read. It was from my sister, written months ago. Come home, Fletch. Know that we need you. We love you. I smiled involuntarily, thinking how happy it is when someone needs you. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.